So yeah, let's just talk about this match. So we have on the other side of the bracket, we have Lev and Rav. Um, so I'm sure we all know Rav. Needs no introduction. Like one of the best players in the game right now, has been for a while. Probably one of the scariest people left in this tournament. Like one of the people that I think just no one really wants to see. Um, Speaking of best players, though, Rav is coming off of an incredible quarterfinals match win over Minirek, the SMC 2022 champion. This is a match where Rav was down 3-7 at one point, and not only did he claw it back to overtime, he ultimately went on to win the match. And like you just don't see things like that. I mean that. So like if you weren't scared enough of Rav, he just has like that ice in his veins where he can just play perfectly under like the most insurmountable circumstances. Um, but not to be overlooked is his opponent Lev. Lev is just one of those guys who's been knocking on the door of the elite level. He's done great things. He's made deep runs in these tournaments. It's no surprise to see him here in the semifinals. Like really, the only thing left for him is just beating like these like giants like Rob. Um, so yeah, and he's been in incredible form so far. Like I think he's won all of his matches. Like they really haven't been too competitive. So we're looking at a pretty exciting match here. And as far as the picks, so they both picked the exact same venue set. Just there was a slight difference with the bands. So Rav, I think he just does not like balcony. So he banned balcony. He doesn't like getting three greened. Uh, so Lev, contrary to David W, he banned terrace and doubled redwoods. So I think that's probably just a stylistic choice for Lev. Probably just likes redwoods a little bit better, not so much terrace, and maybe has something planned on that double redwoods.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see Redwoods. I love seeing people play Redwoods. I think it's a fantastic map. Just really excited for it, and I think it's a great pick against Rob, who actually has adapted to it more. I want to say that their sniper has gotten much better on Redwoods, where they're just not taking as many just kind of like not random shots, but like feeling uncomfortable. So I think their comfort level has gone up, and then just everybody's gotten much more creative as spy on it. It's just wonderful to see. So I'm very curious about that. And also, like you were saying before, I think one of the interesting things about Lev is that Lev was a player who came on the scene really hot, and then kind of just stayed at that like high tier level. Stopped playing as much. Basically, I don't think they really like hit their skill ceiling, but they went way up. So there's a good amount of time that Lev and Rav were playing concurrently, and I think it would have not have been a controversial opinion to say that Lev was the stronger player than Rav. But then Rav took a second like leap in skill. Like I want to say it's hard to tell time with SpyParty anymore, but I want to say like 15 months ago, like a year and a half ago, Rav rose up in the scene really quickly and then took another big jump where it was kind of unexpected. And then Lev was kind of more in a spot where they were consistent for a long time, and now is starting to come back on the scene a little bit stronger. So really curious about this because they've played for a long time, as far as I know. Oh, I'm saying Iron Gang. Yes, that's why I was. There's some sort of connection I had to the two of them playing each other, and it sounds like they came up together in Iron, a really fun division from SCL6 a long time ago. So just really excited for this game because I'm curious as a skill check on the two players where they're at.
Yeah, absolutely. Great information too. As a newer player myself, I am missing out on some of this history between the players. So it is great to know like how these players started and how they've developed over time. Um, and yeah, so let's see here. I think I mentioned Lev doubled redwoods. Rav actually opted to double ballroom. So not just too surprising. Pretty Rav pretty well known for his sniping capabilities, and on ballroom, you kind of have good view of everything that's going on. Good for camping type snipers. Not too much pathing mixed into that. Um, and yeah, so interesting to note. In the previous match, I think Koopa was given the option to spy or snipe. He chose to spy first. In this case, Rav chose to snipe first. So interesting choice from him. Um, you know, Always interested if little decisions like that are gonna play into the result. Um, but yeah, with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So I think we are gonna start off here on Aquarium. Looks like we have Lev starting off spying as Seek in three, two, one, playing it.
And speaking of old games, just so you know, right now there's also on Spy Party 24/7 One of my week 4 games versus Drawn Onward from 6 years ago. In case anybody would rather watch that while we're doing these, whatever two players are playing. I'm totally kidding. This is it's going to be such a more high quality match, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Always fun to go back and watch, the old school matches on 24/7. I honestly, personally, I always learn something from watching. Um, so yeah, looks like we're just kind of getting that early flare progress. A little unfortunate that we start off with a close white. So if Rob is paying close attention, he could flirt Paris as we are going to have to return two additional times to finish up this flirt.
Yeah, I'm actually really like the SpyParty, the 24007 thing. It was like 80% that somebody realized you could do 24007 and like Warning Track and Hummus having this kind of like joke about it. And then like it just being this thing of like recognizing me in all these games. And I actually am really glad to hear you say that it's like this opportunity for people. One, it just means there's always SpyParty going on. You can just kind of put in the background and then kind of like wait until something is like getting really exciting and all of a sudden your attention can snap to it. But it also is this consistent window into just kind of like older play because honestly, the skill level in the game has just kept increasing, which is exactly what you would hope for in a competitive game. So definitely fun to also kind of compare like the games on 2407 to the games that are being currently casted because you just see much more high quality play on both sides. It's just great. I'm just really happy that players like Lev and Roth have kept with the game. And well, there's just a random shot. Let's see what happens with that. That interrupted my point about the skill level of the game. What is going on? That is a crazy shot from Rob. That is shocking, to be honest.
Look at what Alice just did, and that looked very much like an intentional bug path. I think that might have just prompted the shot. I don't know if Alice did anything else that may have driven some suspicion. I know she was at one bookcase. I don't know if she was maybe at two.
Yeah, let's see. I'm just watching Cyber Perspective. So Alice goes to statues, goes straight to statues to bookcase, could have flirted. Um, Yeah, just really active. I think that the mission count still would have been tough, but I think basically at that point, Rob was just like, maybe there's something insane that I missed and there's some sort of crazy rush, and just really felt strongly about that. But uh, that's just that's just a really early shot. So that is fantastic for Lev.
Yeah, I want to say this might have just been one of those cases where it's just like, hey, I just saw you bug. I'm just gonna just shoot you for that. But unfortunate that it was actually just an AI path. Um, so yeah, let's get into the second round. Rav playing as Teal in three, two, one, playing it.
It could also be like you just said. Rob just came off from a huge come behind win. Rob just may not like to lead early on and just wants to give that advantage over there so they can play from behind. So there's also like some psychological stuff. I doubt that, but just something there.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like in the recent, year, maybe year or two, I think Rav is used to just being fairly dominant, but I think he has had some sets like that lately where he's had to actually like come back from some adversity. So there may be something to it. But even still, I want to say pretty rare misfire from Rav because he's just known for having just such a good sniper. Like when you're thinking about how to beat Rav, it's just so hard. Like you just really you really aren't expecting civ shots to be part of the equation, especially early ones like that.
Definitely true. Um, all right, so we're gonna try to force our way into this conversation. It's been a while since I've seen Lev play Aquarium, so I'm actually curious what kind of parsing he does on it. He actually doesn't highlight too many people, it appears, because that's actually one of the big differences you'll see between snipers on Aquarium, is whether how what threshold of highlighting they're gonna do. It looks like these might just be inspect highlights, which I know inspect highlights sometimes they're considered a little boring, but it does control some of the flow of information on Aquarium where the highlights being meaningful will help you remember what they're there for. Because I've seen a lot of players get lost with the number of highlights they throw on Aquarium, and then it's just like, well, three-quarters of the party's highlight, and there's a shark. What am I doing?
Okay. Yeah, and actually going back real quick to the previous point, I think Rob had kind of mentioned that there was a flare pair going on with Alice, and also maybe a little dubious pathing. And I think he felt if that shot was right, it maybe might get in his opponent's head a little bit. But yeah. So like
Put me
starting
in
off
the
here, looks
red.
like okay. So getting the real contact, only what is that? Only two lowlights available. Pretty strong with both DAs in, or
Well, the
sorry, both.
question is Yeah, no, no, that is it's a pretty decent banana bread, and I think especially the fact that we're floating a bunch of highlights in here, and we are flashing on no one. So I think that I'm not sure if we. I'm actually not sure what flashing. Usually, flashing is try to signaling something to future casters, or kind of just to themselves as a commitment strategy. Flashing on nobody might mean that we're pretty sure about a shot, or if it's a shake, it's just a different version of a shake. Nope, we are flashing on somebody, and we are shooting for a potential shark walk. That is something I also should have mentioned. Sometimes there will be crazier sieve shots on aquarium because they are worried about a shark walk. So I don't think that was necessarily the case on the one before, where sometimes you actually only counting up to 3 missions and you'll shoot a sieve because you think that they're preparing for a shark walk. I think that is why we were a little bit concerned about a twin there.
Yeah, looking back, I'm trying to see what the issue is. I think like I know one of the twins was picking up some fingerprints. One of them may have had bug credit. Yeah, the flashing it might have just been just a feeling of just uncomfortableness because maybe we just aren't really sure where we are, but we just have the feeling of being behind. But yeah, very interesting that we kind of start things off with two civ shots here. A little unexpected, but with that, yeah, both players are even going into the next venue.
Yeah, and it does look like well now in retrospect, so the flashing was above that twin's head. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. That was the other twin. Yeah, I don't know. That was interesting. Yeah, I think we just fell behind. All right. Well, that's aquarium. 2 civ shots. Moving on the ballroom, and then we're gonna be here for 4 games, right?
Yeah, so this was Rob's double pick. So, yeah, so starting things off, Lev here, spying as sorry in three, two, one, playing it.
And sorry, so oftentimes people complain about slower characters and picking them and what does it mean, but on the more square the map, the less just influential it's going to be because you can really just like you on a square map you need to be picking the locations you're going to anyway as spies and you shouldn't be going cross corner that much anyway. And she has amazing bugs, so I think she's a relatively popular pick among pretty much everybody on Ballroom now.
Yeah, well, you say on ballroom, I'm starting to see sorry everywhere as a popular pick. Yeah, people just love sorry, maybe with the exception of just really large venues where her speed does become a limiting factor. Um, yeah, absolutely not the case here on ballroom.
She's tricky on Modern. That's the one where it's like an actual like mental pick where it's like, okay, am I going to pick someone on Modern? Because gallery you can get away with not actually using the length of the floor and actually once Modern you tend to have to actually move around quite a bit. So that's the one where it actually impacts them the most, even though Modern is technically, I guess, a square map. All right, so we've gotten nothing so far. I don't know if we've picked up any intel on brief on fingerprints. I don't think really much has happened in that sense though. So we burned pretty much a minute and like a half for not much.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. It's possible the original plan involved flirting, and our ST has been all over the place. For being honest, but it's kind of one of those situations where you'd expect some kind of fallback, but I think Lev. I mean, 2 minutes is still enough time to complete. It's possible that he's making the decision to possibly just time out and hope for another civ shot. Like he knows Rob was a little early to shoot on the last one. Maybe it could happen again, and it could just be a delayed rush. A little early to tell right now.
Yeah, the one thing with the delayed rush is we're still moving around a decent amount. I mean, like, also, I don't know how much Rav is going to be giving, like, negative credit early on going looking for, like, inactivity lowlights on Ballroom. One thing I will say, though, that is kind of, like, relevant for the chasing ST is one of the ways you can be using your walking speed the most is trying to chase down your ST.
Banana
Uh,
bread.
Generally speaking, Sari is one. Okay, we throw off a fake here. Um, Pretty good fake because we decide not to go and look for the reels and we kind of just uh, 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 we don't go for anything too crazy here. There's a pretty decent number with reel, and yeah, not much from that except for that one low light, and I think that's going to be net positive, especially with the fact that we're going to be running low on time anyway. I am very surprised we did not purloin there. I thought that was the play basically, was throwing in a
Yeah.
fake, purloining, maybe doing another fake after or something.
Yeah, so certainly he's answered the question as are we going to try to finish? No, we're playing for the frame, but the question is how far are we going to go to frame? Like, are we going to swap for someone? Are we going to try to purloin for someone? But I think maybe just kind of just waiting to see what opens up for us might be the play, or just hoping that Rob just takes an errant shot here.
Yeah, and we're staring down. We're our camera's not moving. Okay, now I think we're gonna purloin. Nope, we don't. Okay, so I think we're not gonna be able to do anything. Like even this swap is gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be right at 10 seconds. So there's that.
Yeah, and unfortunately it is white, and I don't think we were swapping for anyone. So I think, yeah, I think Rob should just take the win here.
Yeah, I mean, like the white was intentional. So because like white at 10 seconds, you need it to be white because you got no other missions going on. Was that anybody, or are we just white swapping at 10, just hoping there's a panic shot? Because so somebody was Wheels. Wheels was a low light. That the one low light we got from that contact. That would be tragic. I think
Oh,
it
so we
might have
were
been.
okay. So we were swapping for another. Okay, yeah. So I mean, decent try, but yeah. Unfortunately, Rob just much better here. Just holding on to mission count. Just being aware that no finish is happening, and
Yeah, that's on Lev. Yeah, because like there's only like two people out of conversation during that contact. That except for the other SDA, and Wheels is the only really obvious one. I think. I mean, I guess we get the easy one on Irish just because they're picking up a briefcase. So um, I think that idea is not the worst. Is just doing a random white swap out of nowhere as a frame on somebody. You're just really just absolutely doing nothing because at 10 seconds they actually literally have to just make such a difficult conversation or a difficult decision about the completion, but not executed right because can't be doing that on someone you eliminated in your banana bread.
all right, and moving on to the next round. So speaking of that popular spy on ballroom, it looks like Rob will be answering Lev's sorry with his own sorry in three, two, one, playing it.
I feel like we should have a name for that, like the Canadian response or something like that. If there's two sorries in a row or something, I feel like there's a joke there. We'll workshop it. I'll get better at it.
Yeah, or maybe just for the sheer action of answering your opponent's spy with the exact same spy. I believe there's name for that would be nice as well.
That's true. But yeah, so we also pick up our own Sorry game. So the surprising thing with Sorry is we went for a frame game as a kind of a popular spy, which is there's a meta Yomi kind of argument there is if you frame as a popular spy, then that might indicate that it's even more likely that the other person just this random person and blah blah blah. But interesting choice on that one. I think that was probably not Lev's intention from the beginning because we really were trying to hunt down that flirt at the start. And then I think after we fell behind, there's a certain point where they're like, okay, screw it, coin flip, frame time.
Yeah, I like Rob's decision here to get the early fingerprint before starting with the seduce because a lot of time could pass by before we get that last one, and we really just always have that mission waiting for us. And the question is like I think Lev probably, I'm sure surely he saw us with a briefcase, but as it gets further and further along, maybe we just kind of slowly lose suspicion for that.
It's true, and if we go for a second, I'm unsure of Rob's proportion of fingerprints on briefcase, but if you go for a second return of briefcase to ambassador, if ambassador doesn't move by the time that you return it, sorry is actually one of the better briefcase return bugs, where you're actually bugging as you do the briefcase return or right after you do it, and as you're walking away. So sometimes there's a setup there where you get the first fingerprint, go seduce, go contact and then do the second fingerprint into a bug right there, and that doesn't. You're not running far behind because of her speed at that point. So I'm very curious if that ends up where we're going because it's not a totally unknown play. We bounce off our selection target and do not bounce with them, so we will be burning even more time here at window.
Yeah, it feels honestly, minute 20 doesn't feel like a lot to finish what we have, but I still feel like we do have good progress. I mean, knowing that contact is a quick mission, like the Tex has been a very good ambassador and that he's leaving prints all over the place. So I don't think we even really need to worry about that mission. It's really just going to come down to what that final mission is. Maybe it'll be some kind of bug like you mentioned. But yeah, let's see. So we finish up the seduce. I'm assuming contact will be next, and let's see where we go from there.
And it's interesting what you said about Ambassador moving around a lot because Ambassador moving around a lot when you are sorry is generally bad, right? Because sorry is usually you are the one walking and walking near Ambassador kind of a bug. Sometimes you do reverses, but it's not especially great as sorry. It's like good. And actually, we think we might have actually even set up for kind of maybe hoping that we could get a reverse bug on that one. So we know that there is a fingerprint there. We could set
Banana
up
bread.
an inspect somewhere else. Okay, we are gonna ditch here. Um, okay, and we're gonna fake this redirect is just
Oh,
an opportunity
unfortunately,
to
the
beg
bug
for
doesn't
Meg.
take.
Right. So I think
Forces
we're
us
just
in a.
going to.
Yeah, we have to fingerprint swap here. Yeah, the bug didn't take. Luckily it wasn't seen, but oh no, I think we put the statue down a little too late. Breaking animation. Does Lev see this?
Yeah, so now here's the problem: is only it's only two things that could be throwing the pending, right? Is and that's a really fast grab. Yeah, Lev's not even waiting for the clock to go off. That's just so apparently them. Um, let's see. Also, I guess technically we might have been worried that um, was that shot in time if we did a fingerprint last or something? Nah, I don't think so. I think we just sure were on Teal's redirect and we were going to give him a chance to dance. So there was a concept there, but didn't just quite come together.
Yeah, a little unfortunate that that bug didn't take. I think the ambassador just changed paths in a way that we just weren't anticipating, and it just didn't take. So I think Rav was set up for a good finish there. Just having to bail for the swap at the last minute was not ideal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's a nice finish because if they happen to not forget about the fingerprint, it's not an inspect swap finish. You're not worried about that aspect. So there's a chance that they weren't looking at it. But honestly, the green swap might have been worse than just doing a white swap at that point. I mean, I guess we
Yeah.
might have been being stared down.
But yeah, that being said, Lev holding serve here on so far on his opponent's double pick, and going to be spying as Teal in three, two, one, playing it.
Yeah, so okay, we're switching away from sorry after unsuccessful bugs. I don't remember if Lev even tried for a bug on that one, but you're really aiming for a bug or microfilm as sorry on ballroom. It's way more likely that you're trying to aim for a bug, and so did not work out for either one of them. So I think we might see a shift away from bug play because both of them just kind of like tried for it and just hasn't worked out for them.
Yeah, first time around, I think Lev honestly didn't do a whole lot of anything. I think he was. I don't want to say he was forced into a passive approach, but the original plan just didn't quite work out, and that was the bailout strategy. Here, I kind of expect him to take a little more charge and kind of put Rob in a position where he has to shoot instead of just holding on.
Yeah, and I was curious if I was curious if we were going to try to get a little cheap cross conversation flirt with Boots, who is right next to us in a different conversation circle all alone. So they're going to leave pretty soon. We opt not to. We grab a drink and we sip instead. And the reason why, so yeah, actually now in retrospect, I do wish we took that cross conversation because we end up doing that anyways, and it burns just a little bit more time. And then Boots moved in a second regardless, so we still have to get another green fert, so we're dependent on that. We still need to get something else. We have this drink in our hands, so it's going to take even longer. I'm a little bit so. I guess here's my concern. I'm a little bit worried that Lev is giving too much credit to Rav being completely on top of everything and then playing too slow because we don't want to lose early.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a normal way to feel against someone like Rav. You if anyone who's played him before like knows that it just feels like he sees everything, and Lev is kind of taking some extra precautions, like cross conversation from the ST, taking innocent drinks. Um, but then the problem just is pacing. Like at some point, we're gonna have to do a lot in a little amount of time, so we're gonna stand out anyways. So, yeah, you do kind of want to take little mini risks along the way, kind of spread that out, if possible.
And something that definitely happens to people with reputations. There's this article that Opie wrote a few years back called "Maintaining." I think it's just called "Reputations," but it includes stuff about maintaining reputations. The follow up on that article could be something about when you start plugging gaps in your reputation, you actually start getting really good at those gaps. So one thing is that a lot of players, a really easy example was people that would try to rush Kaylee, for example, way back in the day, because they're like, oh, it's just so oppressive. We can't get anything by. If I just try to rush everything at the beginning, then Kaylee got really good at defending rushes. I have a feeling that Rav has got really good at late game, stressed out, kind of like impacted rushes where they'll come from awkward angles because they'll come from players who got forced into an awkward position by feeling like the other person was too strong.
Banana
But
bread.
now Rob just has a lot of experience against that. We throw in a fake, it is known fake, so that is going to be rough.
Yeah, so we do at least get the green Purloin, and we get the green Seduce, so we're in a position where we can finish, just we have to rush a little bit here to pull it off.
Really short Purloin chain, unfortunately. We are probably just going to time out. So I think we're just going to time out because I think there's value to. Oh, actually, I lied. We're not even going to time out. We're just going to chase. Oh, this is. Yeah, that's a bummer. Like that just sucks for him because I think that I honestly think one, I don't know what our fourth mission was going to be. I guess we were going to try to bug and drop into that double agent conversation to see what happens. But there might have been value in just showing a timeout, right? Just showing that you're willing to timeout rather than just going for something that wasn't going to work anyway.
Yeah, maybe timeout or timeout even, but I do like the attempt because I think if the ambassador was being a little nicer, we could have bugged and started the timer. But even still, I think really in all options, it's pretty low percentage. So yeah, so just kind of a tough spot to be in.
But again, like you mentioned, a position that we've put ourselves in both times. And so I think that we just got to identify that's not working out. But anyway, start the next game.
All right, and looks like it's going to be Rav playing as Red Dress in three, two, one, playing it.
So another good bugger and another good microfilmer. We haven't seen much. What was the first map? Yeah, we didn't see any microfilm play on Aquarium that I can remember. But we'll see if anything pulls out here. I would like to just see like there's there was a while where microfilm was coming really back into style for a bit, and I could have also just missed this coming back into the meta. But it feels like Ballroom could use a little dose of microfilm again because it feels like too much has been revolving around Bug and Purloin recently.
Yeah, agreed. I really don't see microfilm that much anymore, at least not on this level. Yeah, speaking of bug, we did actually spawn right by the ambassador, but it's one of those cases where you would need like really fast reaction time to pull it off perfectly. And like we also had the drink in hand too. That it felt like a good opportunity, but yeah, one of those cases where like maybe not realistic to pull it off so quickly. And yeah, with that being said, we're kind of in a similar position as Lev was in the previous round, where I think we just took an innocent drink. Unfortunately, we whited our first flirt. Not too much going on for us right now.
Yeah, and we're just pretty much just following up on our seduction. So we've taken innocent drinks. Once again, doing the same thing as our as Lev did in the previous game, and now I'm just kind of just we're just kind of hanging out. So neither one has really taken a big stab early in the game at all, which on Ballroom is trickier. So I guess here's the problem with Ballroom is Ballroom for better or for worse, you can kind of create your own fate on it. But the easiest fate that you can get trapped into is trying to do two types of flirts early. Sometimes, if you get lucky, you can get a two green flirt in there. But getting two flirts in there, going and doing something, doing your next flirt, contacting, and then something else, it's gotten a little bit too stuck in its script where neither one has taken like a big purloin swing. Like, actually, I think as opposed to how the Koopa David games played out, they're a little bit more aggressive. Right now, it feels kind of standard.
Yeah, so it seems like Tex is being a good DA again, putting prints on the books and all. But I think the problem is we didn't get that early print. So if we pick up one, we're certainly going to be noticed that we're going for prints when we pick up the second because of the timing. Um, so we did finish the seduce. Just feels like options are a little limited. Let's see. So okay, we are going. Oh no, so we're not going for the print. Gonna just wait here on WindowPad and see what plays out.
Yeah, one thing that's nice about staying here, if they were going for the print, is you can do this thing where you could be looking like you're not rushing for the print, and then if somebody starts making a break for that print, you can actually just beat them there. So you kind of have like best of both worlds, but we end up not going for that anyways. There's been a decent amount of rejects. I feel like we might purloin here. We are indeed. So we're gonna be a purloin here. Looking around for the double agent. Double agent's out of conversation circle, so I don't think we're gonna be doing a distract on this one. Oh wait, double agent comes right up to us. Are we gonna contact? There's been another reject on this. I think we're going to banana bread. Yeah,
Banana
we're banana
bread.
breading now. And then, are we going to try to finish, or are we going to expect a shot from Lev? Looks like we're going to be trying to set up for like a bug at the last second if we need it.
Yeah, timing was like almost perfect to hide the. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's still chaining. So okay, we saw Duke take. We saw the fade. Oh, we take the shot on Alice.
Yeah, and that's a totally reasonable shot. So this is well done by Rav. So even though, again, we put ourselves into a little bit awkward position. We read the fact that there's a lot of chains going on, and then we use the length of the chain really well. So Rav puts themselves in a position where they don't draw the attention and like go for a bug before the purloin goes off, and then just gets themselves shot, and the purloin's never seen. Um, there's the reject from Pony, sorry, from Alice. That's huge because then if you throw out that banana bread, that does seem like something that Alice would be doing. They'd be the one instigating that because they just rejected. And then Rob positions themselves where if something doesn't go well and there's no shot that comes off, we can just bug real quick and give ourselves like a 15% chance of winning. So well put together little finisher there.
Yeah, great heads up play there from Rob. So yeah, looks like on the next set we go to library, and we have Lev starting things off as Irish in three, two, one, playing it.
So now the question is, right now it's only two to the gap is only a couple games. Um, whether or not library is a good test of whether or not a spy feels like they have to start taking risks to do something really intense. So okay, we get a bug. I don't know about that.
So we were
I,
seen, but the angle, I mean, surely with the angle, there's no way to know for sure that we did bug there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. But I mean, like, okay, so it could have been. Sometimes people throw laser towards bug. They're not actually guarding bug on library, especially because you keep like sometimes you just pivot the laser to show that you're looking at it and to deter anybody from actually going for something. So it could have been that we're actually positioning our laser there, believing that nobody would dare go for a bug if we're. Oh nope, there's the late highlight. I think we're dead.
Yeah, getting a late highlight from Rob is it can sometimes be a death sentence because it's almost like he waited just so that like he doesn't want the spy to know that they're highlight, which it's just even more scary.
Yeah, and thank you for explaining why. Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, late highlights are often considered to be extremely significant for exactly the reason that Hornet just said is that you're highlighting late. You're taking extra brain power to decide to hold that highlight in your head and just do it later. And you're just trying to not signal the spy that you are onto them in some sort of sense, right? So late highlights or really stealthy highlights are especially bad news for the player because the sniper's trying to not even tell them that they are highlit, which means that they're really actually deeply suspicious of them in some way, and especially if it follows something that really does it would deserve a highlight. So I have a feeling that we either think we saw that bug or we definitely saw that bug, and we're just letting Lev play out because you can get intelligence in the rest of this game.
Yeah, and just to add a little bit, like from the spy side, if you think you just got away with a bug, you're gonna play a little more reckless because you think you can. Like you're like, okay, I can just kind of just get some missions in, and you might just give them another reason to shoot you, which is all they're waiting for. If you think that you did catch a highlight, you're gonna be playing super careful, but trying to like just really carefully pace out the mission count. So, yeah, just a little more to add to that.
Oh, that's a great point because like sometimes, yeah, not only would it increase your chances of winning, but like because you would be willing to watch them more closely, if you signal that you're highlighting them, you're gonna have to waste your time looking for really subtle tells. And here we go. Here's just a shot, right? And so
Yes.
like you can just doing something. So we caught the bug and did the stealth highlight. Yeah.
Yeah, good sniping there from Rob. Yeah, because I mean, honestly, from my perspective, like the bug looked fairly clean, but I think maybe just something about the path. I think just Rob just knew that it happened, and yeah. So let's see how Rob answers back on the spy side. Looks like we're playing as Plane Twin in three, two, one, playing it.
Yeah, I think for Lev, the path was fairly. We were a little bit close on the path, but the path was a reasonable path for the AI to take, and we just really needed the hand not to be seen. So either that Rob would be like just okay, that person's pathing normally, and they wouldn't bug in front of me. Just hope not. But the looking for the hand on the other side, and Irish's isn't particularly great. So anyways, it's not necessarily a bad play by Lev, especially on library. Where you're not looking to specifically win a lot of the time on library, so you might just take risks. Ooh, well, I mean, we give it back early, so both players take an early risk, calculated, not necessarily wrong, but both get caught.
Yeah, I was about to say like this is a pretty rare microfilm for this set, but yeah, like on library, I think that might be one of the few venues you can do it because you might have a good reason to think that you're off camera. But yeah, just unfortunate for Rob that Lev swung over just in time to see that white film.
And actually, just in that same kind of vein, if you think that library is gonna be a tough one for you to win anyways, especially versus good snipers, it's got to be like 85% plus sniper win rate for these players. You can start showing other missions, right? Because then like, well, at least you're throwing out of the missions there you're not maybe likely to do, but you're kind of showing some threat there later. So it's a lose win situation, but it happens. All right,
Yep.
so we get out of that, and we are still with a 2 game gap in Rob's favor.
Yep. And looks like Lev will be spying as twin on veranda in three, two, one, playing it. Yeah, it's a pretty important shot from Lev, to keep this within reach. Um, yeah, in a veranda, another one of those sets where you probably do have to take at least one, maybe two big risks if you want a chance to win. 5 of 8 against both these guys are very good snipers, so yeah, they're gonna have to really make something happen if they want to even out the score here. And speaking of that, we take a very quick standing bug.
We do, and I mean, I would expect. Wait, we fake a wait. How many? Okay, I'm gonna. Oh my God, we did fake. I think we're dead. Yeah. So okay, I'm just gonna walk back through what I think just happened here. Is I think we thought about faking a highlight. I'm trying to figure out the fucking. I'm sorry, I'm cursing way too much. I'm trying to figure out why we faked this highlight at like 34 seconds. So it looked like we faked a highlight at 3:45, and I was like, why are we faking a highlight, then to really highlight, and then to shoot? Maybe I'm reading too much into the laser movement, but it looked like a fake highlight into a real highlight into a shot. That was just weird.
Yeah, and just looking back, that's just a tragic bug because Rav had actually swung the sniper camera all the way around to just there's no question that that was a bug. Delaying that shot, like either he just wanted him to stop moving so he doesn't misfire, or just doing a little bit of trolling there. Either way, yeah, pretty quick victory for Rob there, and yeah, let's see if he can do anything on the spy side here as Disney in three, two, one, playing it.
And on library, so even though again I think that Veranda is just really just tough for spies, I think you can stress snipers out. I think there's a benefit to giving snipers problems on Veranda, and you can mix it in with your aggro, right? Like, it's not the worst bug. Like basically, I think that Rav had lingered around that ambassador for a long time, and that Lev was just like, okay, I'm showing not bug, I'm showing not bug, I'm just standing here, kind of an awkward position for spy, and then anticipated the movement of Rav away from it to take a standing bug, which would just be strange, right? Because you would think that the only way to get that bug after that point, after showing that you're watching it, would be a walking bug on the other direction. So I think that was just basically a calculated play on Lev's part, and then just Rav kind of like saw it out. Especially with Topi being in action, I was actually surprised that Rob guarded that long.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to respect the effort. Like we were just talking about, like the risks you have to take to even be in a chance to win. He went for it, but yeah, maybe just some mind games going on. Like, you think the sniper, what he should be looking at that moment, but Rav is just maybe one step ahead in that battle.
Yeah, and so now, okay, so after right now, we got the early lead off of the start, and then we've been playing sniper favored venues, and so when you play with house money on Veranda, it does open you up to some things like just going for like a lot of missions and then causing some havoc for the sniper with banana bread and purloin. Where if you do distract banana bread with purloin, it just causes a lot of just like stress for the sniper as they have to parse a bunch of stuff out, even though they usually see their way through to the correct shot. So I would like to see something that at least stresses Lev out if we end up losing this game.
Yeah, and really nice briefcase redirect from Rav. Not a lot of progress here, and interestingly enough, our ST comes right to us. So, if we were avoiding any flirt pair suspicion from that two flirt, we kind of picked up a little more here by accident. But luckily, it was Irish that came to us, and not the other way around. Um, so yeah, just being a little patient, waiting here. I do suspect him. Like you mentioned, kind of playing with house money. Like you can you can try to force a finish here. So yeah, and okay, so it looks like we're gonna go for fingerprints.
We're gonna go for fingerprints, and Toby's actually rotating to the right hand side where Ambassador is. Um, this is gonna tell. Interesting. Okay, I wasn't sure if we were gonna rip that book out because how much Lev was gonna be watching the left hand side of the map was gonna tell a lot about how much threat they felt like was gonna be the left hand side because Ambassador is over there, Toby was heading over there. There's gonna be a fingerprint there. Time ad, two time ads in a row. I actually like this a lot. We haven't shown any time ads so far, and like I said, Brand is actually a little bit stressful for the sniper. They just have to be on their game, and just usually they win. So expanding the amount of time that they're going to be on tension is just fantastic, and it's just a natural point at which a time ad makes sense for the spy, but the sniper won't be expecting it. I like that play a lot.
Completely agree. In a
Enemy in the
match where
red.
you need 9 points to win, an extra minute and a half of oh wow, and Lev is just completely on top of it. But we really had not done much up to that point. What did he see that tipped him off? Oh, it must
Well,
have
I
been.
mean,
Surely it must have been the time ad, right?
yeah, exactly. So it was enough time afterwards that we could have caught the clock slowing. Apropos of nothing, I'm going to say time ad because agreed that I don't think we really did anything that really would have tipped him off too much. Um, there was not all that much going on with the time ad. So the big hardtail in the time ads wasn't even the time ad, it was the double time ad, right? So I think we might have just caught that and then waited for there to be a stable moment in which to shoot, just kind of getting some intel. So good response by Lev, and he's kept the gap to no more than two. But we are now going to be leaving some of the most sniper favored venues for the rest of this, so it's going to pick back up right after this.
Yeah, and speaking of spy favorite, here we are on Redwoods. Lev's double pick, so honestly, great position for Lev. Starting things off as Duke here in 3, 2, 1, playing it. So yeah, I mean, I have to think this Redwoods double is, I mean, part of it, maybe Lev just likes it, but I think, another part of it is he probably, with Rav being the opponent, I think he probably feels this might give him a bigger edge than usual. With just the nature of Redwoods, you can't see everything that's going on, and I think Rav's style just really kind of depends on being able to see everything, track everything. So yeah, let's see what Lev can get past Rav here.
Yeah, love Red Red. It's just so fun. So we here's something that I think that Rob has picked up on and done a lot better on is catching mid game swaps. So he actually is doing a fantastic job of checking there just to make sure that Lev's not doing anything too crazy, which I think is a good opponent read because Lev is actually going a little aggressive. I'm expecting like a finish within
Enemy
like
in the red.
probably not much more than 130 based upon the feeling of this game. And
Yeah,
yeah,
lightning fast seduce, early contact. We're gonna finish up inspects here. Um, The only thing that worries me is if Rav suspects us of the split because he certainly didn't lowlight us. The split it can go one of two ways. Either we get lowlight or sometimes it just gives you more suspicion. Oh, and we're actually going for a direct transfer. I think Rav is on top of that.
I think so as well. I actually think we played this a little too fast. Again, I mean, obviously we played it too fast. We got shot. Uh, I I don't like us going all in on the low light from the split. I actually really liked that game option to that point. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to just like do the thing where it's like, oh, 2020 vision, of course, it didn't work out. But us trying to basically bet everything on a banana bread split low light because that was the only way we were getting away with that. I mean, I guess maybe we're not watching because so much is happening near Ambassador that everything up until that point felt good. I liked how much we had. We had so many options. I just think that basically saying like, "Oh, I think I got low lit." I don't think you had a good enough reason to think that you're low lit. The level of aggression though was looking great though up until that point.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful rush, but yeah, Rav just happened to be right on top of it. And so yeah, let's see how Rav's going to answer here on the spy side. Spying as Seek in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And it's also great because like sometimes you'll just get those starts on redwoods and you'll have so much flexibility. And you just don't have to force anything. It's just kind of fun to see how they'll play that out.
Yeah, it was a beautiful start. I do think around the time we did go to books, I think at that point we did have a ton of suspicion on us, so maybe the direct transfer was was a little risky, but it may have just been one of those moments where Lev is just kind of feeling like, I got to do something. I got this great start. Just finish it out here. But yeah, just a little unfortunate that it didn't quite work out.
Because there's two things that happen, at least two things that happen with a banana bread split. One is that you have the chance for a low light, but the other reason you like banana bread splits is you don't actually you don't spend more time than you need in that conversation, right? Like there's the banana bread way to beat leave at the next possible second. But the nice thing that banana bread splits doesn't only give you the chance of maybe getting a low light, it also covers the fact that you broke animation to leave a conversation circle. And so I feel like the benefit that Lev got from that banana bread split wasn't going to be a big chance at a low light. It was the fact that we didn't have to wait for a proper time to leave that conversation. We could just leave whenever because the banana bread covers it. So I loved the pacing and the decision making around that. But I just don't think you're going to get that many. I don't think on redwoods you need to be going for a low light off of a banana bread split win.
Yeah. I don't know if this was lag or what, but I saw some cursor shaking or crosshair shaking on Lev's side. I think maybe General did something that he didn't really care for too much, and General does pick up a highlight here. Yeah, Rav on the other hand, just got the 51% flirt in hand. Not a lot of time, but this is one of those venues where you can do a lot in a little amount of time, so not too worried about Rav's pacing here.
Yeah, not too bad. And like you're saying, like if General had something suspicious and then went to a bookcase to pick up in specs, a little bit worried for Lev there because we do seem to be keeping General on camera. Ooh, and this banana bread
Banana
is going
bread.
to help out with that a lot. Uh, so we do get some good lowlights off of this. So we're still getting lowlights, still getting lowlights. We're not going to lowlight the other conversation, so we're not going to go all the way down to assuming real. But right now, if General has suspicion, he's got a lot of suspicion. We bring Teal back up, so there's more people that are going to be juggling here. And we are not going to be going for the fingerprint or the purloin at all. We're just going to be hanging out here at the back of the venue at Blue Bookcase.
Yeah, we'd been keeping a close eye on Alice as well, so I know he was happy to bring her down to a low light. So yeah, right now I think General is the top suspect. I think we maybe one other that we were keeping an eye on, but yeah, at least as Seek, Rav has not really picked up too much suspicion yet. So like in a good position, but actually that being said, 30 seconds, not really a lot of time to work with here.
Yeah, and so we obviously go for that the difficult fingerprint and blue bookcase. We don't get it, which basically cuts fingerprint off from us. We do not
Oh
hit this
no,
green either. Ooh, so basically we're all in like a civ shot. I don't think Rob realizes that a civ shot is as possible as it is. Oh, this is not going to work out for us.
Banana bread.
This Benebret's taking forever too. We're dead. Or sorry, we have lost now. We're not dead. We are gonna go for a quick little timeout. That's the thing you should do.
oh my goodness, the reaction time from Lev to just immediately swing over, like it almost looked like he shot him through the trees. Um, that that was pretty impressive from the sniper side, because that seems like the kind of time ad you could get away with. I think he just kind of had him like with the clock so low. I think he had in the back of his head is like who can time ad right now, and yeah, very very good decision because that paid off. Immediately taking the shot on the spy.
Yeah, I like it because the banana bread covers this in sort of in a sense it's like a banana bread split into a time ad. So maybe you even get low lit on the way there, sort of a thing. Like it just throws some confusion. Maybe something happens. He was gonna lose anyway. See what happens.
Yep, and we once again get to see what Lev can do on the spy side. This time going to be as Alice in three, two, one, playing it. So yeah, last time we saw like all out rush, like OP style, just winning the game in like 1 minute. Um, I'm expecting to see a more measured approach, but since this is Redwoods and this is Lev's pick, I'm still expecting to see some aggression here.
Yeah, we thought about going to the to bar. Looked a little full. Would have been cramming ourselves in here. But now we're going to be ending at bookcase, which is just kind of an interesting place to start. We did get caught on the transfer last time. It's actually a decent amount of cover. I would not be actually shocked if we try to do something. It looks like we're just going to put it back though, because we would have done it by now if we were going to do it at all.
Yeah, it would have been would have been a good. It would have. I think it would have worked out just based off the camera angle, but yeah. Of course, we can never know where where the sniper is looking, and that's usually a spot that probably doesn't have a lot of cover. So I think Lev just thought better of it. Instead, picking up an early fingerprint, and Probably a good decision.
Yeah, early fingerprint leaves us with something. So the bookcase is going to be really juicy. So not only so, here's one thing I will definitely say about bookcases is noticing. Oh, is Ambassador going to go right back to the bookcase and drop another? Well, not another thing. Oh no, statue. Cool. So noticing these. Leaving a fingerprint on bookcase on redwoods is obviously like a huge thing because it's a fingerprint plus two inspects, so it's like a statue in a normal map. But then there's just going to be way more inspect finishes because of the nature of this map. Basically, what I'm saying is keeping if whenever you're a spy and you're noticing fingerprint dropped on blue on a bookcase, keep it in mind not only as a potential resource for you, but really try to notice who goes there because actually it's very likely that they could pick up another fingerprint or finish full inspects and you know more about the suspicion level on the rest of the map.
Yeah, and a slightly tragic moment a little earlier. Like there's a moment where every single person was in conversation except for the double agent, the suspected double agent, and the ambassador. Like it felt like the perfect time to give everyone credit, but just the people who actually needed to be in conversation were out.
And man, Ambassador has been loving this corner. They have dropped this is just a refresh of this fingerprint on this statue, but everything over there is fingerprintable. I can't help but notice that, like, this actually might even be frustrating for Lev, is because there's no way that Rav is not keenly aware that everything over there is a fingerprint. There's no secret fingerprint for them to get. And we try to do a leave and cough. So this is not necessarily the end of the world. It doesn't seem like we got a low light for it though. Yeah, okay. So coughs are really strange because I don't even necessarily know if that was. I don't know. I'm guessing we were just hoping for a green. I actually kind of like cough and bail, because we coughed and then we actually we we cough bailed and we only had a single cough. It can really confuse people. It gets over to the fingerprint. I think that was intentional. I'm just gonna say it. I think that was an intentional cough.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess the devil's advocate would be we were in conversation with the double A. I'm sorry, the double agent. We did do the BB split on the previous round, so we have shown that we do like going for it. And I think Lev even did some camera shakes that just kind of looked like frustration. So
Uh
while
okay,
it
then you're
might have,
probably right.
yeah, while it might have been intentional, I think it was just a little bit of an error there.
I
But
like the
yeah,
idea though, if it was though, because then like otherwise, because if we just did a banana bread, and I guess maybe you get credit for the split, but if we do a banana bread split over to those things, I just feel like we're gonna lose anyway. I feel like we just are that corner is just too suspicious with its fingerprints. But sorry, go ahead.
oh no, definitely a fair point. And yeah, so let's see what Rob can do here. Yeah, pretty important round for Lev to hold on the sniper side. So I'm sorry, Rob kicking things off as Kane, and yeah, do this is actually match point. So yeah, very important round for Lev, and yeah, so let's start it off in three, two, one, playing it.
Yeah, indeed, and it's also dangerous to be on redwoods because with match point you can just be aggressive on redwoods and just sometimes stuff works. So, going to be very stressful for Lev while he snipes out the rest of this.
Yeah, so far, this match, it feels like it's been a lot closer than the scoreboard would say. It feels like both players have been doing pretty good on the sniper side. I think there's just been maybe some unlucky civ shots that have kind of swung things into Rob's favor. Um, yeah, and I think maybe Rob might just have kind of forced Lev into some of those situations, so I definitely don't want to take credit away from him. It's a pretty good start here. Pretty quick, 85% on the flirt. Still 245 remaining.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying because I think that Lev, in getting to this position, I think has played better so far in those other games than he has in this match up till now. So it would be a bummer for Lev if they felt like they exited on one of their weaker sets to a player that I think that they were really probably interested in playing their best versus. So I am definitely hoping that Lev's able to continue this set and give it another shot. Right now, I think that Rob's just going to be just apparently seems to just be super patient and just like try to get a civ shot because right now Lev's gonna get really stressed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like knowing your all the pressures on your opponent. Like you definitely don't want to give them a reason. You don't want to give them an out where they can shoot early. Like give them that full 3.5 minutes of redwoods. Trying to track everything through those trees. Um, yeah, so pretty early seduced, but yeah, pretty patient approach from Rob, and I think probably a good choice.
Interesting. Like I'm the pathing from the pathing we took over towards Ambassador, going away from it. Oh, nice little bug actually right there. I was say it is an expected timing for the bug, so it's not impossible for Lev to catch onto this. But uh, uh, yeah, we took this strange pathing over towards Ambassador, redirected, came back towards them, looked like we were trying to bug, didn't end up getting a bug, and then picked up the bug on a much cleaner bug on the other side. And this highlight could either be for the bug or just the partial inspects.
Yeah, very very possible. Not too many, honestly, not too many highlights right now. So I want to think that it might just be for activity. Could be for the partial if the other guests aren't really touching statues right now. But
Banana bread.
I do think Lev is at least on to the fact that we're being fairly active here. Oh,
And there's a
unlucky
second
here.
bug. So let's see. So what we are thinking is like I'm trying to think if we were trying to call out Rav for a um, oh yeah, that's just unfortunate because what it looks like I guess is that we had faked while Twin was in, but unfortunately, that shot is on somebody that could not have contacted. So it's just a bummer. I think Lev was just stressed at this point and just trying to just take a shot, end it. But Rav has had a lot of flexibility even after that. So that did not show the true extent of Lev's skill. I think Lev's play up until this point in the tournament has been really good. So unfortunate way to exit, but versus Rob probably wasn't going to be too much different, so we can take a little bit of solace in that. And Rob is going to be facing Koopa in the finals.
Yep. Yeah. Honestly, pretty good set. Honestly, I thought Lev played well under aside from a few errors. I think maybe Taft even had like a spy like looking leave to into a possible bug path, so it might have added a little bit to that suspicion. But yeah, that being said, yeah, great set. Both of the sets were really great. I'm really excited about the finals. We have Rav against like Koopa, who's just like played incredible. That battle against David was just absolutely amazing. And even honestly, the third place match is one I would love to see. Lev against David. Yeah, I mean, just really excited to see that.
Oh yeah, is there a prize in that? Is that happening? I guess we got at least one of the two in chat. I'm hoping also that that third place match happens because that's actually a really cool one. And just getting third places in tournaments is just kind of fun. So, anyways, I agree that I hope that happens because I think that could be an interesting and dynamic one because one would be coming fresh off of a super hard fought loss. Another one would be maybe feeling like they didn't show everything they could have and would want to show another set. So that could be an excellent set. Agreed.
Yep. And yeah, with that, thank you everyone for watching. This has been a cast of the 2023 Winter Cup semifinals. So yeah, be sure to tune in next week. It'll be the finals, Rav versus Koopa. And yeah, just anyone new who might be watching, just remember if you're wondering what this game is, this is Spy Party. It can be picked up on Steam or on the Spy Party website. Very fun one-on-one game. If if you've already been playing, but you're interested in getting into the competitive play, honestly, I think the best way to join or to get into it, just join the Discord. There's tournaments for all skill levels, and we would love for you to join us. And yeah, with that, thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.